Welcome back to another YouTube video. We're in Austin, Texas, Master Suite, Presidential, Complimentary. Just kidding, used all my points to get this, but we are in Texas, in Austin, Texas, sorry. We're gonna be playing at the Lodge and at TCH and whatever other card rooms we can find out here with the guys from ONTILT Poker. If you don't already follow them or subscribe to them, go ahead and do that. I think we're gonna grab some lunch first, so let's go ahead and do that. The ONTILT boys on the vlog, first appearance. Where we at? TCH. Let's get it. We've officially arrived at TCH in Austin, Texas, and we're hopping into this 1-2 game for the max, which is $300. In the first hand of note, we pick up Ace King offsuit in the big blind, and under the gun opens it up to $5. That's right, $5. And the +1 sticks in the call, folds all the way over to me. I bump it up to $30, and they both call. So we're going three ways to a flop. It comes deuce, king, 8. Rainbow, that's right, we connected on the board holding ace king in our hand. A bit unreal, I know. Anyways, I c-bet $20, should probably size up to 35 or 45, but I did not. Small mistake on my end. Anyways, under the gun folds and the +1 sticks in the call. We're off to a turn. It's the ace of spades. So now there's a complete rainbow on the board, and we also improved to 2 pair. Now I think his most likely holdings are either a weak king or an 8. So I think the only thing that we can really get value from here is a king. Feels like he's going to be folding an 8 on this turn card. So I decided to get a bit tricky and check this turn, and he checks it back. We're off to a river. It's pretty good. It's the deuce of diamonds. So now the board pairs. And if he has a weak king and I have a king as well, then we are chopping. So I decided to put out a big bet here. I bet out for $120, hoping it'll look like I'm trying to get him off a chop. He thinks about it for a minute, but decides to fold, which means we're going to take down the first pot here in Austin, Texas. All right, in this next hand, we pick up king, queen offsuit in the +2, +1 opens to $10. Could go either way between calling or 3-betting here. This time I decide to just call, and so does the big blind. So we're 3 ways to a flop, in which we flop ourselves top pair once again. It comes 6, 3, king, 2 hearts, 1 club. Now the big blind decides to donk bet for 15, +1 folds. And again, I think you can go either way between calling or raising here, and I actually prefer raise because typically when people donk bet in these lower stake games, they're just trying to name their price with the draw, but I decided to go with the more passive route again and just call. So we're heads up to a turn. It comes pretty harmless, so it seems. It's the jack of clubs, and now the big blind decides to check. So when he checks, I'm definitely putting him on a flush draw, so I decided to size up. For a round pot, I make it $55, and he just rips it in my face for 115 total. Obviously, I'm not folding. I flick in the call, and we're off to a river. It's the 3 of diamonds. Shouldn't change anything, and it doesn't because he just shows king jack for 2 pair. So the turn did us dirty, and the river brought no help, and now we're down on the session, and now I hate Austin, Texas, and now I'm never coming back, and now I'm cashing out. On to the next hand. All right, this next hand's pretty interesting. We look down at king 10 offsuit in the +1, and I open it up to $15, a bit wide, I know. Anyways, cutoff and big blind both call. We're off to a flop. It comes jack, 3, 10, 2 diamonds, 1 club. Action checks to me, and I think you could put in a bet on this flop, but being multi-way, I prefer a check. So that's what I do, and the cutoff checks as well. We're off to a turn. It comes the king of spades, so we turn ourselves 2 pair. Now the big blind decides to lead out for $25, and obviously that's not going to be enough. Straight and flush draws are out there, and he could also have a worse 2 pair, so I bump it up to $75. Could even go larger for 100 in hindsight, but nonetheless, the cutoff folds and the big blind sticks around. He puts in the call. We're heads up to a river. It comes the 8 of hearts, pretty much a brick. If he had queen 9, he would have already had a straight on the turn, and he probably would have raised us. So when he checks this river, I'm pretty confident we have the best hand. So let's try to get some value. I bet around half pot for $100. In hindsight, I think I really like a small bet to induce a raise from all these missed draws out there, or I like a pot-sized bet to polarize my range. But obviously, I did neither. That's why we're talking about it right now. And my opponent folds. But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all like a small bet on the river, try to get somebody to raise, or do you like a big bet, try to polarize my range? What do y'all think? Or did you guys actually like my bet? Probably not, but if you did, let me know in the comments below. On to the next hand. In this next one, we pick up ace queen of hearts in the +1. Under the gun limps, and I raise it up to $20. Folds all the way over to the small blind, who is none other than the editor for ONTILT Poker, aka the best editor in the game right now besides myself, obviously. And he decides he wants some queso, pause, and puts in the call, and so does a big blind and under the gun. So we're 4 ways to an above average flop. It comes ace 3, 6, 2 hearts, 1 spade, top pair, nut flush draw. I'll take it. Checks to me, I bet out for 30 bucks, and now Dev in the small blind calls, and so does a big blind player, and under the gun folds. So we're 3 ways to a turn. It's a 10 of clubs. Checks to me again, and I only have 130 left, which means my stack is going in the middle. I go all in, and now Dev is in the tank. But after thinking about it for about a minute, he decides to flick in the call, and the big blind folds. So we're heads up to a river. It's the 4 of clubs. Pretty much a brick. I flip over ace queen, and so does Dev, which means he also has ace queen, so we chop it up. No blood between ONTILT and Sam K. So the biggest rivalry in all of poker right now. If you guys didn't know, now you do. On to the next hand. All right, ace king once again, this time in the small blind. Dev in the +1 limps, and so does the cutoff. Gets to me, and I raise it up to 20 bucks. Now the big blind +1 and cutoff all calls. So we're 4 ways to a flop. Comes 10, ace, queen, 2 hearts, 1 club. So top pair in the gutter for us. And when it checks to us, I would typically bet here in this spot. Plenty of draws to get value from. But there's also hands that have us beat. And if I'm going to be betting top pair, I got to be checking it from time to time. So I check this one, and it checks through. We are off to a turn. It comes the 5 of hearts. Now front door hearts come in. And I do not have one in my hand, but I do happen to have one pounding inside of my chest. So I'm going to lead out here on this river. On this turn. I bet out for 50 bucks, targeting all single heart holdings, and everyone folds. And that just goes to show you that it doesn't matter if you don't have a heart in your hand, because if you have one beating in your chest, you can always win the hand. And if that doesn't motivate you to go out there and lose some money playing poker, I don't know what will. On to the next hand. All right, we pick up king queen offsuit. This time in the hijack, and action starts with a raise to 10 bucks from the low jack, who just so happens to be Riley from the last vlog. Yeah, that's right. This dude drove all the way down to Austin, Texas just to try and bluff me again. Now, obviously, we're not going to let that happen. So I put in a 3 bet to 40 bucks, just trying to go heads up. And that's what happens. Everyone else folds and Riley calls. Off to a flop where we whiff it. It comes 8-7-4, all spades. Riley checks. And once again, we do not have a flush draw in this spot. But what did I just tell you guys the last hand? You don't need a heart to win the hand. Say it with me, everybody. You just need... No, I'm just kidding. But I do decide to put out a bet here for 55 bucks, and Riley folds. And just like that, we're beating Riley, and we're never going to lose another pot to him again. And he's still not getting any banana pudding at Thanksgiving. That's a fact. On to the next one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the last hand of the session. We look down at king queen offsuit. In the hijack, folds to me. I open it up to 15, and only the cutoff call. So we're going heads up to a good flop. It's queen, queen, 9, rainbow. We flop trips here, and I think you could go either way. You could bet, you could check, you could fold. Just kidding. But I really think that there's a lot of hands that could call a bet here. Any 9, any worse queen, any straight draw. So I think I like a bet, but I did not bet. I checked, which isn't the worst play. Kind of disguises the strength of our hand. And my opponent checks it back. So we're off to a turn. It's the 5 of spades. Now we got to put some money in this pot. I bet out for 20 bucks, and he pretty quickly calls. River is the 3 of clubs. Typically I bet big here with trips, but I think my opponent could find a fold if I bet too big. So I decided to target any 9 or any middling pocket pair, and I go for a bet of 35 bucks, and he pretty quickly calls again. We flip over the trip queens, and we are obviously good. And we're going to take down this final hand of the session here at TCH in Austin, Texas. All right, I've tried to record this like 4 times, and now my shoulder's hurting. So whatever happens on this outro, on this last take happens. Yes, that's the setup. You guys love it. Don't lie. Anyways, we're in the game for 500 bucks. Cashed out for $496. That's a loss of $4. Not the best result. Not the worst. I'll take it. But I definitely enjoyed my time down there in Austin, Texas. Got to play at the lodge. Made some shorts there. But I'll definitely be going back down there and getting some more vlogs, some more shorts for you guys. But until then, I'll be in Dallas, Texas, playing poker per usual. If you want to play with me, hit me up on Instagram, and I will 100% get back to you. I promise. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you haven't already, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.